And now the mark. Oh! Oh! It went to zero!
Don't get rug pulled. 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 Heard that project is a trap. Don't get rug pulled. Everything they say is kept. Don't get rug pulled. 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 Turn your savings into scraps. Don't get rug pulled. They be plotting on your racks. Whoa, whoa. We going know where we at. New USB for my racks. Not slipping, no, I never let. VPN changed the map. He lying, you know that he kept. I know he be hacking. Look at the way I check. The same way I bring racks in. That's the same way I bring racks in.
Damn!
That's the same way I bring racks in. That's the same way I bring racks in. Don't get rug pulled. 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 Heard that project is a trap. Don't get rug pulled. Everything they say is kept.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to FUDDERS, the weekly live stream where we talk about all the bad news that's been going on in the NFT and cryptocurrency spaces. And our special guest this week is the one and only Kid Arcade, aka VeVe Arcade. What's up, Arcade?
Woo! What's up, y'all? How's everybody feeling, man? Today I'm gonna be a fudder. Fud.
You don't have to be a fudder at all. That's not like a requirement. We've had plenty of very bullish people on here. You could just be honest, and if it is funny, then it is what it is. But before we get started,
I'm on here every week.
Yeah. Mo goes back and forth. Look at him. He's got a "We Love VeVe" sign behind him this week.
What?
So it's
Arcade, wait, is that say? I was to say, what's that on your shirt there?
Let's go. He's got the moonboy
There you
shirt
go.
on. I got a VeVe shirt on too, though. So
I got the secret rare.
Yeah, you
that is
did.
nice. Yeah, helmet logo. So let's go. Shout out to all the homies that are in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us for FUDDERS. Before we get started and get into our topics, like always, I want you guys to be introduced to the guest in case you haven't seen VeVe Arcade or don't follow him on Twitter or watch his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel has been blowing up. He just reached over 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to the Kid Arcade YouTube channel, and his Twitter is @VeVe Arcade, which you can see right there. If you could, Arcade, will you let the people in the chat know a little bit about how you found VeVe and what you like to focus on with your YouTube channel?
Okay, so I got into VeVe during the Steamboat Willie drop. That was my first drop. But I knew about VeVe since the summer. I got a friend out here, I Break Stuff. He's on YouTube. I Break Stuff, B-Boy Steve Zoo. He's the one that introduced VeVe to me in the summer. He talked to me about the drops, DeLorean, the Doom. When Doom dropped, I just kept ignoring it until the Walt Disney dropped, right? Once Steamboat Willie came in, that's when I got in. So I got in November of 2021.
Let's go.
Nice.
Good stuff. And go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I like collecting comic books on VeVe. And my YouTube channel was created in order to have a place for me to talk about VeVe to people with.
Yeah, you put out some great information, especially with the shorts that you do on the IPs that are on the app. And then, of course, I got a graphic right here for your Sunday live streams, which I'm a big fan of. Somehow I missed it this Sunday. I was stuck in a Twitter space and completely missed the show, but he does all kinds of trivia games. And as you probably know, he's my co-host for Tuesday VeVe Trivia at 12 p.m. every Tuesday. So make sure you guys are hanging out with us for that. And Arcade, are you excited about being on FUDDERS, man? I know you said you're going to be a FUDDER, but you don't have to, right? You're going to be honest with us, aren't you?
Oh, of course. I'm going to be honest. Of course. I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion. Even though I love VeVe, I can criticize VeVe. It's all good because I don't get paid. Let's get it.
That's how we're going to What other platforms do you collect on besides VeVe? I know you're big on Elmon X. What else do you collect on?
Yes. Elmon X. I collect McFarlane. I collect Digital Dogs, even though they kind of fell off. I don't know what's been going on with them. I collect DC. I'm on DC. I'm on Palm.
Nice.
And basically VeVe, DC, and Elmon X. Elmon X is my bread and butter. That's where I believe I have most of my investments in, but I love it all.
Which makes sense because you're an artist. If you don't know, he has some really cool NFTs. I own a bunch of them. We're always giving them away as prizes during our trivia. And that makes sense that he likes the art platform Elmon X. So shout out to VeVe Arcade. Appreciate you being here with us. We got, of course, our co-host as always, BE from the VeVe Drop channel, who also just surpassed 1,000 subscribers. What's up, BE? How are you feeling tonight?
Let's go.
I'm feeling good. It's a good day. I got here a little late, but I'm ready to go. We got Arcade, so I'm excited. This is gonna be a good show.
Let's go. And BE's biggest fan, Shelby Cobra, is in the chat. Just
Yeah.
gave you a congrats on your 1,000 subscribers. Let's go. Let me hit a bomb for that. And of course, our other co-host is MoKnowz, my co-host for Friday Night Racing, and the man with the mouth, the digital skeleton you see down here below me. What's up, Mo? How are you feeling today? Are you bullish or bearish today?
Yo, what a vault, Mr. Arcade BE chat. Well, first of all, my refrigerator showed up, and yeah, everybody knows refrigerators always lead to good things. I got my America Chavez collection.
Let's go.
Like I said, for some reason they shipped it in the fridge. Whatever. I'll take it. But yeah, so my America Chavez are here. I'm up here with the pandas, just living the life, man. Got my red and white secret rare. I mean, life can't get any better. Actually, I'm 0 for like my last 10 in photo finish.
Oh no.
So I want to kill my barn in a video game. But other than that, yeah, everything's great.
Maybe we should have fudded some photo finish. Although my horses are actually been doing pretty
In
well.
the contract, buddy. Back it up. It's in the contract. Okay, moving on.
All right, so let's get into some actual FUD. We're going to start off talking about Amar Singh. If you don't know, he is the person who brought the Rewind Collective and Givenchy collectibles to the VeVe app. And there's been a lot of controversy about him and some of his other projects as well. So I wanted to show you guys some screenshots that I have gathered about what's going on here. Let you guys give you your opinions at the end, not just my co-host, but also we're going to do a poll to see what everybody thinks. So let's get into it. Hopefully you'll be able to see all these pretty well. This is from somebody who created their own NFT collection that was made out of these 3D hearts. And this is where they were talking to Amar Singh a while back about it. And they're talking about it still takes more time than you expected, but we'll give you an update for sure. So they were producing this project. They gave them the link to it. And in the next DM, you'll see where that person also gave Amar Singh the password for some reason. That's what I'm kind of curious about. But gave him the password to go look at these NFTs that they had designed. So you can see here he says, is this for an NFT release? And they say, yes, I would like to sell them. I thought to go with Nifty Kit, and some hearts highlight minorities. So afterwards, it was interesting to see that that same person went out and accused them of Amar Singh going and stealing one of those designs. And that design is the NFT that you know on the VeVe app as the Rewind Collective heart, with the 3D heart you guys remember from I think the second Rewind Collective drop, and it has the rainbow designs you'll see there on your screen. And they said that well, let's see, I think that's pretty much a lot of their claim. They're saying that this person right here, since the time of the release of the stolen work, Amar Singh was contacted about it, and he's been unresponsive and never took any responsibility for they're calling it a theft. And being the owner of the original artwork, they're not asking for anything. They just want everybody to know that it's stolen. So there's also another creator who backed up the story. They were responding to Randy Chavez here saying, I'm the 3D artist responsible for creating the 3D heart renderings, and they attached a screenshot of the files with the dates to prove that the artwork was created before Amar presented it to VeVe as a design. So the question is it stolen? Well, if you look around at some of the other platforms that Amar Singh has been a part of them, one of them is utility.art. And if you look at this tweet about utility art, you can see the original tweet, the account that the original tweet came from no longer exists. That account completely disappeared, so did their Discord server, and there was a screenshot at one point where Amar Singh had said that the utility.art project was bankrupt and didn't have any more money. This was the original plan for the utility.art project. Several people had gotten into it. I don't necessarily know if they spent any money on it. I had originally signed up to be an ambassador and then kind of left really early because it seemed, I wouldn't say it seemed shady, but they had a lot of people in there who are content creators that I didn't get along with, like Randy Chavez. So I ended up not working with them and then leaving pretty early on. And so I don't necessarily know if people were putting money into it, but you can almost consider it a rug pull because it disappeared. Here's another person who was complaining about Amar Singh and asking for evidence of the donations that was given to him through the VeVe project. The whole VeVe releases that Amar Singh did with Rewind Collective were supposed to generate this money for these charities, and we don't have any proof that they actually went to charities. And of course, if you know the original thesis of the Rewind Collective is about all these minority and female artists who are anonymous, so they don't get any credit for their work, which a lot of people thought was strange as well. Now we don't even know if those artists are real or even exist. It's all getting a little bit shady and creepy to me. It seems kind of weird and kind of strange with all this information together combined. So I want to get your guys' opinion on it as well. I got a poll I'm going to start about it, but I want to start off up here with my buddy BE and see what he thinks about Mr. Amar Singh.
Well, I mean, as we know, NFTs and all that, it's very clean. There's no scammers. It's a safe place to be. So yeah, no, he's a scammer. He's an absolute scammer. I mean, I just, all these guys, I just don't believe them anymore. I'm sure he scammed people out. He stole stuff, well, in a video game, right, Mo? But yeah,
that's right.
There's just no way. Why would all this happen? Why would people be saying all this? It just seems like most of these projects are scams anyways. So why not this one? I mean, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Yeah, most people are thinking that if you look at the poll.
Yeah, I do want to see what the people in the chat think. So far, it's 86% say yes.
I mean,
you got to consider
80...
this is a company that's working with VeVe, so it's supposed to be kind of a top-tier company. But if you hear the whole story about how they got onto the VeVe app, Amar Singh just kind of was talking to David Yu at an airport or something and just somehow was able to get himself in there, makes a little bit of money off of it. But, I mean, that seems like, I don't know, it's a little hard to believe that it's that much of a scam and this guy's just a big scammer and all these people, including David Yu and Dan Crawlers, were all scammed by him. Mo, what do you think, scammer or no?
This is a case of the chickens are coming home to roost. You know what I mean? I mean, everything just kind of adds up, right? I mean, people go silent, they start trying to disappear. You know, again, there should be transactional history of whatever was done. If the guy has the files and says, you know, he made the stuff beforehand, I mean, it's, you know, it's, you can't really fake that stuff. I mean, you can try, but if it actually went to, you know, some sort of court or litigation, it would easily be, you know, proven to be real or not. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, why don't get involved in most of this shit? Like, it's so easy for, you know, David Yu or somebody to talk to these third-party artists or whatever, and that wouldn't happen from like VeVe with Marvel and Disney, but because that would shock the hell out of me. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe they just got duped. Maybe this guy was just a really good talker, and you know, I know a lot of those people. So sucks though.
You might be right, or he might actually be involved with Givenchy in some way, because I don't see any problem with the whole Givenchy license that he brought to VeVe, which was pretty huge. I myself did a little bit of promotions for Rewind Collective when they did their Pixelated Heroes project. They paid me with an NFT, but everything seemed, you know, cool when I worked with them on that project. Sorry if I cut you off earlier, BE. I'll definitely come back to you before we move on to the next topic. Okay. And Arcade, I know you're an artist and you're big on stuff like Elmon X, so I was very curious to see what you thought about Rewind Collective and Amar Singh and all this information we got about him.
Well, when it came to the Rewind Collective on the VeVe app, I was really bullish on them. I was really excited about them just because they were bringing characters like Frida Kahlo, Amelia Earhart, Cleopatra. These weren't Disney characters, which was something that I was interested in. Something that bugged me and bothered me about the project was that they weren't giving credit to the artist. And I think that if you were supporting women, people of color, you would want to let everybody know who they are to give them more exposure so they can put in a resume, I got an NFT on VeVe. So I think that you were doing a disservice to the artist by not exposing or letting us know who they are, which was something fishy, right? The second thing that bugged me about the project was, why was he so desperate to make money when VeVe didn't want to do the airdrop, right? They were so concerned about the prices going down. That's true. I feel like them coming out and calling VeVe out about them not listening or wanting to do the airdrop was fishy to me. You know, something about that didn't sit right. And the third thing was this, right? I read those messages earlier, and that is, to me, in my opinion, he did bite that. He did copy that. That heart with the flag, it looks very similar to what we have. And it sucks because I seen Randy in there trying to protect VeVe, and I do too, right? When I go in there and I see people talking about VeVe, but when it's something like this, it's a little bit more delicate because we're dealing with a specific person. It's an artist. So I felt like they stole that. I was a little upset that Randy was in here trying to defend VeVe after the guy posted this, instead of trying to really you know, trying to help the situation out. It was almost like trying to shut that person out. And I personally don't mess around with the Rewind Collective on VeVe. I personally don't mess around with Amar Singh. He was always fishy from the beginning, and maybe I just have a good radar when it comes to stuff like that. So as far as I'm concerned, if the prices go down on those pieces, I'm still gonna get them. But
Right.
no, I'm not chasing that. And as far as him being a scammer, I don't know if he's a scammer. I just wouldn't trust him myself.
Yeah, especially if he's doing a different another platform or his own project. However, I think his Givenchy stuff is still legit on the app, and I still keep my eye on the Pride poster. I'm still going to end up picking one up hopefully at some point, and I still think it's going to be valuable in the future because it's still a Givenchy and it's still great art. But I'm not as bullish on the other Rewind Collective NFTs as I used to be, because I used to be a big fan of them. They used to be super scarce. Now they're not as scarce anymore either. But they're still some of the coolest looking NFTs on the app, in my opinion. The ones that the 15 different scenes where they move to the next one and it has all this stuff. I mean, it looks awesome, and it's going to look awesome in your metaverse home. So they'll probably still do all right. But I don't, yeah, like Arcade said, I don't necessarily trust Mr. Amar Singh. BE, was there anything you wanted to add? I think you was getting ready to say something, and I moved on to Mo without even letting you continue.
Oh, no. That we covered it all.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
yeah, we're good. We're good. Thanks, man.
And speaking of art, Duck and Cover mentioned, what do we think of the Banksy Saw at Bob Sells This Time Next Year video? Yeah, Bob Sells, if you guys haven't followed him on YouTube yet, he has a cool channel. He was talking about the Banksy drop, and David Yu actually had just mentioned on Captain VeVe's channel that they're going to be dropping the Banksy soon, but he pointed out that it's, I can't remember the name of the license, Medicon, and that it's a representation of Banksy art in 3D form, but it's not like it's Banksy. Banksy doesn't necessarily approve of it himself. Arcade, as an artist, do you think this still has value? Are you still happy with it?
I am happy with it. And that's going to sound weird because I do have a graffiti background. So I am happy with it. One, because Banksy doesn't even want you to know who he is. So how are we going to give credit to the artist when we don't even know who the artist is? So it's almost in a sense that he's giving people the pass, but now allowing us to know who he is, right? So there's a tricky situation. There's a lot of graffiti artists that if somebody was to copy their work, it would feel a certain type of way because I know what they look like. We know what most artists look like, even though they're vandals in a sense, right? So that it's almost like if you're not willing to put yourself out there to defend your own art, you can't expect us to do it either.
True. Yeah.
And that's a weird take, right? But I will enjoy it. And if the Banksy drop comes out, I will definitely go on it. Just to touch on the Amar Singh real quick. I saw the comments about how Amar Singh had 12 days and then 12 days wasn't enough because VeVe has these drops scheduled way ahead of time. VeVe can always make a change on anything, right? We saw it happen with the Capcom. They didn't have the license locked in until the week before and they end up dropping it. So in order for, I could go on Fiverr and have somebody create the same digital heart in 5 hours, right? So 12 days is way more of enough time for Amar Singh to take it, go on VeVe and say, I want to change the image. I want this 3D heart and a flag. And there's way more than enough time for him to do that, especially 12 days. 12 days? Pff, come on, stop playing with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to go to Mo and BE and see what you guys think about the upcoming Banksy drop. You guys, thanks in the chat. It was Metacon and Brandalized. And I also want to pull up this tweet right here because I want you guys to notice the name Collect Love NFT. They are the ones that originally designed that heart, and they just sent me 3 NFTs out of the kindness of their heart because I retweeted this tweet about what was going on. And if you guys follow them, keep an eye on them. They have a project going on. It's those hearts, and they look pretty cool. And you can probably get some from them. I don't know when the drop is or anything, but just follow the account and you'll find out more about it. So Mo, what do you think about the Banksy drop? If I'm not mistaken, I thought that I was gonna say Banksy tweeted something about being upset, but I don't know how Banksy could tweet if he's anonymous. Wasn't there some kind of story about Banksy being upset about Brandalized? I guess they were physical toys that had been put out by them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's honestly freaking Arcade's got my brain thinking about all the things that could happen in 12 days. I mean, I'm thinking we got drummers drumming. We could have maids a milking. We could have geese be laying. There's so many things. We could have French hens. You know what I'm saying? But no, as far as the Banksy, I don't know. I draw stick figures, man. My art knowledge and the amount of time I spend researching art. Yeah, if we ever did a full art show, I'd probably have to sit that one out. So, but yeah, that's my take on that.
I mean, it seems a little sus that he is apparently upset about Brandalized in the past, but the fact that we know that it's going to do well and it's going to sell for more than retail is an important factor, and that's why I'm probably going to go for it. I want to see what you think about it, BE too, and then Mr. V has a little bit of an update on the Amar Singh information as well. So BE, what do you think about the Banksy drops? I'm sure you're probably going for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, Banksy, he's awesome. I mean, his stuff is amazing. You never know who he is. I mean, I've heard of him putting art out there and selling it for like $35 to people who had no clue, and they just got something that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. He seems like a really good guy. And if I'm correct, in Arcade, maybe he does have other people actually do some of his art. So like he makes stencils and stuff. Doesn't he have them also go out for him, or am I incorrect about that? He does.
I believe he does have a team that helps him put everything together. Yes, he does.
So, but I'm assuming these guys aren't part of that team. But I think it's okay. Like Arcade said, if he's not going to defend his work, I mean, I really wish it was him. I mean, that would be absolutely insane.
That would be different. That would be different.
Yeah. But how would you be able to prove it if he's anonymous?
Exactly. How do you have a team? How do you have a team and it's never been leaked of who he is?
Well,
that's weird to me.
It's almost
He's never met his team, maybe.
They've said, what was that band, the Gorillas in the 2000? I've heard that the lead singer from that might be. I mean, I've heard a whole. He's like born in 1976, so they have some ideas, but we don't really know what he is. I will say that picture that he did, where and Arcade, you probably know about it, where they went to the auction, they auctioned it off, and bam! Well, Vault 2 where it shredded it. Yep. Oh man, that thing was awesome. What a good play. That would be one I want to buy for sure.
Yeah, and I guess he had to have a team to get that set up. You know, he can't do that on his own and be anonymous.
Yeah. No, he definitely has a team. And I think that a lot of people think that artists are painting paintings, but most artists, when they're as big as he is, or Patrick Hughes even, or any big artist, they all have teams of people that help them develop their art. It's just too much for one person to sit there and make it all happen. So you got somebody helping you stretch canvases, somebody helping you behind the scenes filming it. There's always a team of people helping them out.
Absolutely. And speaking of a team, shout out to all the homies in the chat giving us some good information. Ronnie Lido says on many documentaries, his team talks about how they help Banksy. So that tells you that right there. And then Biggest Bro pointed out that the thing I was mentioning earlier where Banksy didn't like the whole Brandalized stuff was during the Guest store incident. It was Guest Clothes that had his stuff on there from Brandalized. And then going back to to Amar Singh and shouting out our homie Mr. V, who's been on Fudders with us before. He points out here that the owner of that original artwork is a VeVe OG and spoke with many big figures in the community. He thought he could turn to Amar as a big figure to not screw him over, and that was obviously a mistake. So I'm wondering who he's referring to as the VeVe OG, because we got two different people in our screenshots who are kind of claiming to be the creators of that original art. And then Mr. V, I guess, has a third person, so everybody's claiming to be the original creator of that art. We got a couple screenshots, so I don't know. Maybe it needs some more investigation. I want to see. I want to see the source that Mr. V's talking about as well.
It could also, in 1% chance in my mind that it could also be a coincidence. Anybody can make a heart. It's pride. It's a pride. We could put a rainbow in the heart. It's just, I don't get that. My intuition is going, no, he stole it, allegedly, in my opinion. And that is just everything up to this point has been fishy. So this is just an add-on. If nothing was happening prior to this and it was a clean slate and this just came out of the blue, we might question that. But I think that because of the track record, this is the conclusion that we're coming with.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if you check the poll in the chat, it looks like 54% of the chat thinks that yes, Amar Singh is a scammer. Only 5% say no. And then 40% say, I don't know, and I don't care. And that's going to be a theme for tonight. I have that as an option for most of our polls. If you don't know and you don't care, then you like to click buttons, feel free to select that one. So let's move on to our next topic. This one is a little bit wordy. They got a lot going on over here. We're going to be talking about the SEC is now suing Binance and also suing Coinbase, saying that a lot of these tokens are securities. All right, now I did have some information here. I should have already had it pulled up for us, but unfortunately I forgot to get everything set up. But I do got the graphics for you, and I'm sure a lot of people have been hearing about all this that's going on. Somebody pointed out that one of the congressmen actually today filed a motion to have Gary Gensler fired. So I don't know if that's actually going to go through, if that's a long shot or something. People are not happy with them right now. And as you can see here, the headline on a lot of these articles are that the feds are coming for crypto. They're trying to take out crypto. Crypto tokens plunged because of it. And there's a lot of particular crypto coins, including some big ones, which we're going to get into as well. Another important development was Robinhood. For anybody who uses the trading app Robinhood, they delisted a lot of these big coins, including Cardano, Polygon, and Solana. And they're not allowing people to trade on those. And these are some of the biggest coins out there. I've got a whole list of banned coins. It's a huge list, though. I've got some articles linked down in the description if you want to check it out. But it has a lot to do with claiming that, let's see. Okay, so Gensler believes that most cryptocurrencies are securities, and as such, current laws give his agency the power to regulate them. There's another agency called the Commodity Future Tradings Commission who thinks that they should have the power to regulate them, and that's kind of what the lawsuits are about. Coinbase, Binance are both affected, and it could possibly end up causing both of those to go down. And I don't know if you guys use Coinbase or Binance. I'm sure a lot of people do. They're two of the biggest exchanges. But in all of these articles, if you read them, they're all saying that this is the Wild West. It's all about the Wild West, and it needs to be regulated, which is fine with me. I've always said we talk about regulation on FUDDERS all the time. But this might be going a little bit too far. They're on straight up attack mode right now. So I'm going to start up a poll right now about finding out if you guys use Binance or Coinbase. I personally use Coinbase all the time. That's how I cash out cryptocurrency. And I'll start off with you, MoKnowz. What do you think about what's going on? I know that every time I go to you about the SEC and regulations, it's always the same story, but let's hear it again.
I actually wasn't going to go down the whole story about how they want to force us into a digital dollar because the rest of the world has now created a digital dollar and we have to compete with the rest of the world. I'm not going to go down that road. We've already heard that one. But what we can talk about is just another domino that's going to continue to fall because 90% of crypto is going to get wiped out. Like it or not, 90% of crypto is going away. A herd of buffalo runs through an open field. Well, guess what? 90% of them probably won't make it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get their asses handed to them. They're going to get yanked into a bush. You know what I mean? It's going to get ugly. But we do need it. I think if Coinbase were to go down fully, I think Coinbase might be the one to set the precedent. I think they would be the ones that would probably want to stand ground and at least finally get some regulation. I don't think Binance really gives a shit about the U.S., to be honest. But I think Coinbase probably would be the one exchange that might actually get some shit done. So I'm actually glad it's happening. Full disclosure, I don't own much crypto. Solana is all I really transfer, and that's for photo finish. Now that's all off the chain pretty much, so I can not really deal with it. But that's all I got.
I was wondering if you were going to be upset in particular about the Solana stuff, because that's one of the main tokens that they pointed to. And like you said, that's one of the tokens that Photo Finish Live is built off of, right?
Well, they were, and this is why they're chain agnostic as well. Solana can go down tomorrow. Photo Finish will continue to run, and they can figure out, they can trade on whatever the hell they want at the end of the day. Because right now, you can just go to Photo Finish with a credit card and fund your account, buy a horse, gamble. Obviously, if you're within state regulations, So that's what I'm saying. They don't really rely on Solana. It's not really a big hit on them at this point.
There you go. And it says at the heart of both of the lawsuits is just the fact that Coinbase and Binance are accused of failing to register their exchanges with the SEC. So I guess they're saying, Coinbase and Binance, that they didn't have to register with the SEC because they don't consider themselves securities. BE, where do you stand on all this?
I mean, that is kind of strange that they're going after the exchanges. And I do have Robinhood. I've got Rugpull and Coinbase, all the BS. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I do believe these need to be securities. I've said it for months. I think it's good for us. I mean, except for the people that are making a lot of money real quick and getting, but most people are getting scammed, right? So this is going to stop that. It's going to put everything under a microscope, and it's going to protect us. Like, I don't want too much government, but you need just enough to keep these guys, from screwing everyone, because as we all know, they will. People will just screw people over because they want to. It is a little strange that they're going after the exchanges. But I mean, you have to start somewhere. I mean, this will go to court. It's going to work its way through. But either way, SEC is coming down on everything. I think they're going to come down on NFTs, anything with some type of utility. And if they're marketing it and making money off of it, it's going to be regulated. So, yeah, I think this is good. And I'd love to hear what Arcade thinks about this, because it's just crazy.
Yeah. Hopefully, they don't come down too hard on NFTs. But yeah, you're probably right. Absolutely. Arcade, what do you think about what's going on with the U.S. government going after crypto exchanges now?
I believe there's a few reasons why that's happening, right? I mean, they've been trying to go after crypto for a while just because they don't have any control over it. I think another reason why they might be going after Coinbase specifically is because Coinbase was going to testify in front of Congress on June 6th for the crypto bill. So I think that possibly they were trying to throw a jab and make Coinbase a little bit more vulnerable during the time where they needed more representation, right? If they were going to step up against Congress in the middle of a lawsuit, that was going to make them look bad. And I think that they're trying to stop possibly the bill from fully going through, right? I think that in the short term is a bad thing because Coinbase is going to go down. The long-term game is where we want to be at. And I think that this is good for the long term because just like Mo said, I totally agree with the fact that this is going to create more regulation, which is going to make the space make the space more stable. And I think that that's what we need. And I'm happy that it's happening now during a bear market, right? I mean, this is only going to drag on. It's only going to drag on and might as well get it out the way. We need this place to be regulated so my mom and my aunt are comfortable coming in, and they'll never be comfortable coming in until the space is, it's sad to say, but controlled by the FCC or the S. It just needs to be overseen by a power like that in order for the masses to adopt it. So I think that is a good thing. Coinbase is definitely representing America, and I saw the interview with the CEO of Coinbase. Was it? I saw half of it, the beginning half, and it gave me a lot of comfort with what he was saying. And they're just paving the way. Coinbase has enough money. The crypto space in general has enough money to go up against these regulations. So it's perfect timing. If they would have came after crypto 10 years ago, it might have shut crypto down. So that's where I'm at with it.
That's a very good point. That's very well said, too. I agree 100%. My whole thing about looking at crypto and the reason why I never got into crypto, and I don't want to sound too conspiratorial over here, but I guess at this point, I am a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, and I don't even care. I'll be honest, the second I came in to VeVe and Omi tokens, the first thing I bought was Omi tokens, and I just put a little bit of money and I was playing around, but I always felt like crypto has no chance of succeeding because the rich people don't let the poor people get rich. And as soon as I saw poor people getting rich on crypto, I was like, the rich people are gonna stop that. They will not let that happen. That actually takes away from them eventually. Like, they don't want to see the little man come up. And now you see the regulations and you see them killing crypto. I mean, I don't mind them regulating, but in some way, if they're killing like Solana and Cardano, I mean, Matic is something I use all the time to buy NFTs for my home. I know Arcade uses Matic all the time as well on Polygon, on OpenSea. So, I mean, I'm worried that they're trying to literally kill crypto and not just regulate it, but I hope that they're regulating it. Mo, I know you're more level-headed than me. Am I being too conspiratorial here?
No, I agree with you actually 100% on this. And I think Arcade brings up a good point too, because if Coinbase, like I said, there's enough money to stand up to, Big Brother or SEC or whatever, just call the bluff. You know what I mean? The second you call the bluff and SEC is like, oh shit, wait a second, they actually got the money to put this up. They're like, wait a second, do we want to tie our funds up? I mean, we got bigger issues here, especially in this country, right? Like, do we want to start tying that up? So again, that might be why they start looking at replacing Gensler, But then again, that's gonna rock the boat. I'm sure there's people on both sides of the aisle that have stake in cryptos, whether they're banned or not. And if they say they don't, they're just freaking lying. But I think again, if we just kind of stand up to them and just they might just back down. They might be like, hey, you know what? We'll concede a little bit, and maybe we'll get our Solanas back, but maybe the scam meme tokens will go away. There still has to be regulation. I don't know, but I do agree with you, Volt. I think not too conspiratorial on that one.
Let's go. All right. I thought I was going to blow people's mind and be like, no, calm down. But apparently some people agree. Adam even says rich people are okay with allowing a few poor people to come up because they can clean the dirty money, but only rich people that have problems with crypto are the clean ones. So there you go. BE or Arcade, do you guys have anything to add to this before we move on to the next topic?
Yes. I wanted to, something that came to mind when you were sending me the topics earlier today was OMI, the OMI token, right? And what if because the OMI token has not backed up by Disney but attached to the Disney name, would it be a possibility for Coinbase to turn around and tell VeVe, hey, this is not the time because this is big? once this is all settled down, maybe that's when Omi will come out. That's just a quick thought, but I just saw somebody talk about Omi in the chat, so I was just wondering about that. Full disclosure, I have a little bit of Omi. I'm not really too big into buying Omi, but that's just me.
I mean, if that was the case, they would let us know because they'd be bragging about that. But we might be able to, at some point, give VeVe credit for not listing Omi on all these exchanges.
Right.
They might be saving us.
Might have been smart.
I don't know. What do you think, BE?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I have a little Omi. And I want to say something that Mo said. He said, 90% are going to fail. It's going to be way more than that. It's like 99%.
I was being nice.
But you understand. It's like, for sure, it's not going to be very big. I've said this before. Just look at the .coms. How many .coms did we have? 98, 99, and most are gone. There were so many. Yeah. Right.
That 99% seems a lot to me. I think maybe 75, 80% survive.
I don't know.
We gotta have different economies and different, I don't know what they call it, but you got to have different places for people to interact with, and people to be interoperable with other blockchains possibly.
Well, but I'm counting everything. I'm not just counting the big stuff that we're seeing on the exchange. I'm talking about all the crypto that people are making. It's just, if you take all of that, only the good stuff's going to survive, like Bitcoin and stuff that, a lot of these coins have like 10 trillion, right? And it's like, how are you going to burn that? I mean, burning mechanism, how's it going to ever have any value? It's not going to happen. So
what about Omi? Do you put that in the good list or the bad list?
Bad list. I mean, because it's lost all its utility, right? It's not doing what it's supposed to do. The burning mechanism isn't the same. I mean, so yeah, it's unfortunately, I'm going to get screwed on that.
You've been a bad little token, haven't you?
All right, let's check the poll before we move on to the next topic. It looks like 41% of the chat use Coinbase only, including me. I'm one of those people. 28% of the chat use both, and 25% of the chat use neither. So yeah, I usually use Coinbase to do my cashing out, and if I need Matic to fund my trades on OpenSea, then I'll use Coinbase to buy my Matic as well. All right, guys, let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is something that a lot of us are involved in, and that's the DC Palm platform, which is one of my favorite platforms to collect on. And if you haven't heard about their new announcement about their drops that are coming out over the next 5 or 6 weeks, basically how it starts out is there's one drop that's going to be on, I want to say this Thursday, but whenever this first drop happens, yeah, it says right there, June 15th, there's going to be 5 rarities, and each one of those rarities unlocks you access into the next drops. So a week after that, if you own the common from that first drop, you'll be able to go for this second drop. If you own the uncommon, you'll be able to go for the third drop, etc. And where we need to stop at is the uncommon, because if you own the uncommon and you go for that drop in 3 weeks, you'll be going for a new Superman #1 comic. And of course, Superman #1 is probably the most expensive comic on the app right now. And there's a lot of people, especially Superman #1 holders, who are very upset about the fact that they are dropping more comics. And this person says it pretty well right here, that all of these most of these comics are re-releases. Why would you want to get anything that they describe as limited when they're just going to re-release it in the future? Now, of course, this could end up applying to VeVe as well. They might end up re-releasing some of their collectibles or comics, well, comics in particular, but even collectibles. And if you think about it, they've already re-released the Todd McFarlane Batman just as a new color, along with the Rizzo and a couple other ones. So there's a lot of people, as you can see, here's another tweet responding to DC1's announcement that they are devaluing the Superman #1 by re-releasing it. So I'm going to start with you, Arcade. I know that you collect on DC Palm as well. I'm going to ask the chat the same question I'm going to ask you. Are you okay with NFT platforms re-releasing their comics?
Whether I'm okay with it or not, the first thing that comes to mind is that DC only has a limited amount of grails that they can put out. So if we're going to think about it, the grails are going to be re-released. They have to do that. I mean, VeVe has a little bit more time between comics just because they have so many names and brands under them. But how many grails does DC have? Superman, Batman, first appearance of Joker, Harley Quinn. I mean, there's just a handful of FAs in the DC.
There's more than that, but yeah, you're not completely wrong.
But as far as in the real world, if you have a first edition book, books get reprinted all the time. Alice in Wonderland has been reprinted thousands of times, but the first one is always going to be valuable because it's the first edition. So I think that because we're in the blockchain, there's an advantage that you're able to prove that yours was the first one before the reprint or the facsimile or whatever, however they decide to drop them, right? So I think that the people that feel like it's devaluing their Superman, yes, it's being devalued, so I can pick it up because I don't think it's going to be devalued. If anything, it brings more attention to it. If we have 1 million people show up into VeVe tomorrow and you re-release Amazing Fantasy 15, it's only going to bring attention to the original one because people are going to be like, oh, what is this? There was one before? No, I want the original one. So it's going to bring more attention to the OG. That's in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely good way to look at it. Right now, I'm still 50-50 on it. I'm not sure where I stand yet. Let's see where you stand, BE.
Yeah, I actually don't love it. And not to say that I would be against it, but when you do it 5 days later, I mean, what are we talking? 5 months later? That's the problem that I have.
That's a problem, yeah.
But arcades, I agree. I hadn't actually thought about that. So it was a good point to say, you know, it actually will bring more attention to the first one. And of course, I have that AF15 SR. So please bring some attention to it. But yeah, so I just think if you do it too quickly, and because there's such little stuff, that's the problem I have. I mean, they have stuff like, you know, Suicide Squad that came. I actually have that first issue. You know, that came out not that long ago. You know, not Golden Age, Silver Age, any of that stuff. So it's just not too quickly. And I think the McFarlane stuff's different because he releases that stuff, right? That stuff that he releases. Superman 1 wasn't released a million different times, other than like the NFT. So that's what I say. I don't love it. But I think there could be some room for just give it a little more time, not so quick.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to agree with you on that. Just give it a little bit more time. But when it comes to possible re-releases of VeVe collectibles, Mo, what if in the future we got like 2 million users, everybody's got a Todd, they're 10K minimum floor, and they release a new Todd, a second release black and white Todd McFarlane Batman? What do you think that does? You think that's okay? You cool with that?
I think it'll happen, but I think you'll still have the people that their main purpose in life is to wake up every day and be better than other people. And they want to tell other people that they're better than them. But they're going to want to have the first. Like, oh, you got the new one that came out yesterday? Yeah. How about this, brother? I got this. Listen, I play Fortnite still. I jump on from time to time. I got the OG Skull Trooper. And if I throw on the OG color, like people, they're like, oh my God. You know, it's like, oh, they lose their freaking mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's just a way for people just, you know, to show off. And that's never going to change. I mean, it's just how human beings are. So again, it will happen there. But as far as the DC release, I have zero problem with it, and here's why. First and foremost, VeVe already did it. They already dropped a remake of AF15, right? Not too long ago, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
The zombies
no,
one?
There's another one.
Oh, no, but it wasn't
it's a new one.
Yeah.
But it just the cover's the same. The cover's
covers the same. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cover's the same. All right, so boom, there you go. Second of all, my 3 copies of Superman on Pawn have gone nothing but up since the announcement. That's goes to Arcade's point. And third of all, they've already said, and we haven't seen it yet, but if it's unique variants, it might be some cyborg Superman on the cover. It's not going to be the same cover.
Right.
People need to stop losing their shit because the way they're explaining it, again, unless I'm way too high when I'm reading this shit, it's going to be some variant of the cover. So it's not going to be the legendary cover taking value away from the crystal clean look of it. It's not going to be taken away from the uncommon, you know, crumpled up, chopped out corner, which again, you could bring out another crystal clean one. I'm good with that because my 2 uncommons is going to keep going, but ding, right up. Because me and Vault have always been on the same page. Like they got character, you know, like people are going to want those down the road if this whole thing, you know, shakes out. So,
but what
anyway.
if, oh, sorry, Mo, go.
Okay, good. That's it. That's pretty much it.
I was going to say, you know, how would anyone feel if they released the Walt statues, the Platinum, and they released 500?
Well, here's the thing. That actually does happen in the physical world with collectibles sometimes, especially 3D collectibles. But the nice thing about NFTs is we have metadata. So in the physical world, you might not even be able to tell the first apart from the second series. But in the NFT world, we'll always be able to tell the difference. And I know some of the information about the upcoming drop that's going on over there on DC Palm is that they released that there was going to be 6 comics total, 20 covers, 19 new covers. So I don't know which one of those covers is not the new cover, but that's the information they gave us. 6 comics, 20 covers, so that means each one's going to have, what was it, 20? Maybe it was 24. Something like that. But each one of them, I guess, is going to have 5 rarities, and all of them are new except for one. All covers are new, so I'm assuming the Superman #1 cover is new as well. Let me shout out some homies in the chat and see what you guys are talking about. Adam is talking about the Superman Moon Boys. They do have a really strong community of Superman #1 holders, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of anger about the re-release, because they're together. They got a little bubble over there. Sean says, I don't mind them doing these drops. I care more so about how they are making it. 1.5 months long, almost 2 months long of weird cash grabs. A couple weeks is fine. So Sean is just upset that they're doing all these. I don't know what's wrong with these comics. If they're doing a new Superman #1, is that really a cash grab? We're going to make money off of that drop, right? And I know there's definitely going to be a good strategy here is whenever that first drop happens to buy those uncommons, because they're going to give you access to the Superman #1 drop. Is that,
Oh, of course.
Is that how it's going to work, Mo?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I think, if it's still a max of 5, I think I'll probably be minting 5 if I don't get uncommon, because I know they're gonna be going for more than $50. And like I said, people can bitch, cry, complain all they want. Those comics are gonna be worth probably at least triple digits, for the uncommon. Yep. And the Superman will still be continue to, be worth, decent amount of money. So I don't know if it's gonna be worth, what the. Like I guess it depends on the mint count, right? We don't even know the mint count on these.
We don't know the covers. Depends on the covers.
Yeah, we really don't know. So that's speculative, I guess. But I'm just saying, as far as like the key to get the comic, Flo said it's max 2. Okay, so I can spend $20. But yeah, I mean, depending on what the key is, I think the key will cost you probably like $100 if you don't get on the drop.
Yep, I think so too. And a lot of people are commenting about the AF-15 that you guys said. They did not like that. It's not AF-15. It's a completely different book.
It is a completely different book.
It's just the cover.
It's not even the cover. It's a different story. The cover looks similar, but it's modernized. So it's not even the exact same cover. So I'm seeing that in the chats. People are thinking it's the same comic. VeVe has not released the same comic book twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's my lack of comic book knowledge and coming back. I thought it was a revised version of the original, like for the new modern generation is the way I took it when I read. Okay, I was wrong. I will backtrack that. Rewind.
Collective.
Yep, rewind collective. Scam people.
Something that I want to ask. Adam's talking about. Adam says new Superman #1 is not different than VeVe Secret Rare covers. No one noticed this. I don't understand what you mean by that. Does anybody quite get that? Let me check the poll, see what you guys think about. Are you okay with NFT platforms re-releasing comics? 45% no, they are not okay with it. 42% say yes, because it makes the originals worth more. And only 12% says, I don't know and I don't care. I'm proud of you, chat. Only 12% doesn't care. Thank you guys for being involved and paying attention. I'm trying
Thanks
to
for caring.
You're right.
Thanks for caring.
Something that I wanted to add on to that, too, before we move topics is, how would you guys feel if they re-released the comic book but added better utility to the new one? Let's say you can add the utility to the old one, so you're going to have to re-release it in order to introduce the technology that's attached to the comic.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
I'll blow your mind right now. I think I've talked to BE about this. VeVe re-releases comic books, but instead of just reading them, you step into the panel. Yes. So now it creates an augmented reality, based on the scene that what they call the cell or whatever you walk into. You'll see all the action take place. I'm saying you'll see the thwacks and the booms and everything, happen. And then when you're done interacting with that scene, you move on, to the next panel. That's how I would see them re-releasing.
That's going to kill the originals even more if you give utility to the re-releases.
Yes, and that was the point I was trying to make. That would actually hurt. And would you guys want them to go back and add the utility to the original comic book?
That would be better.
Or maybe you need both. What if you need both? What if you need the original and the new one to unlock that? That
there you go.
Really be.
There you go.
And see that sometimes when we talk about taking the items out of VeVe, keeping them in the VeVe ecosystem, they're able to sit there and update items without having to re-release them to add the tech to something new, right?
That's a good point. Absolutely. Adam says, so VeVe Secret Rare covers are variants of the originals. Yes, this is what the new Superman cover will be. Oh, okay, so he's not going to be another one of the Superman #1s, because when Superman #1 dropped, it's 5 different covers with different grades on it. So this will be a Superman #1 with a variant cover that's dropping. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's how I was told. It was like different universes from each different drop. Like I went through and I watched the the Jim Lee video, whatever, through the Discord.
It'll be interesting to see how well that does in the aftermarket. And I see a couple of people are asking when that drop is. I'm not 100% sure. I thought it would be this Thursday. They say they don't see it in the Discord yet. Maybe it's next week. I don't necessarily know. I think it was the 15th, they said.
Yeah, they said the 15th.
Yeah, that's
I mean, they
Thursday.
usually drop it on Tuesday, but
Yeah.
Monday normally drops the teaser.
Got you.
So,
Yeah, 15th is Thursday, so that should be the day. All right, guys, let's move on to the next topic. The next topic, we're going to be talking about Bitboy crypto. And so what's going on with Bitboy crypto, if you haven't been following along, you probably have, because he's been actually trending on Twitter today, which he's been bragging about as well. He has over 1 million followers on Twitter. He has a really big YouTube channel that I watch every once in a while. He talks about NFTs every once in a while. He talks about VeVe. Recently, though, he claimed, I guess we'll say he claimed, that he got his Twitter hacked. And some people were saying that he was lying that his Twitter was hacked because the hackers created this new coin called FCKSEC and got a bunch of people to send money to buy this new coin. He put out a YouTube video, and the YouTube video is really what made me think that it might be a little suspect. You can see right there, he's got a big smile on his face, and had a temperament in his video where he didn't seem to care at all what was going on, that he got hacked. And he even mentioned in a reply to somebody that they stole from his community, so he didn't necessarily steal from him. I know Wellwire is one big Twitter account in particular that thinks that Bitboy is lying. He promoted a scam all over his account, making millions in profits, and afterwards he claims that he was hacked. But I did notice that Crypto Chris Coffee, one of our Omi homies, just put out a video today talking about the whole situation and explaining Bitboy's side of it. He's saying that something actually happened with his Verizon account, and the SIM card got hacked by somebody who works for Verizon, and that he's going to be apparently suing Verizon for what happened. And some people seem to believe his side of the story. Other people seem to believe that it was all made up, and that's the way he did it. It's untraceable, so he got away with it. So there it is. I'm going to give you guys the poll, see what you guys think. I mean, I was leaning towards this guy's a crook, he's a scammer, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw Chris Coffey's video, and I was like, okay, maybe not. I don't know them that well. Let's start off with you, BE. I think I already heard you say earlier that he was a scammer, but let's see what you think.
Well, first of all, good luck suing Verizon. You might as well just throw that out. That ain't going to happen. I mean, there's no way. Yeah, what's up with that damn smile on his face? I mean, I'd be furious. I'd be punching holes in the wall if that happened. So I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know too much about the story, so I don't really know. It's fishy. It's a little fishy to me. So yeah, I don't know too much about it, but it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, I can't say that I know a whole lot about it. Like I said, I watched Chris Coffey's video, and that gave me a little bit more information. You saw the screenshots. That's all the information I've gathered on it and a little bit of time I spent on it. Mo, what do you think about what's going on there?
I mean, I think at face value, it was like 42 minutes or something when one of his, it was AJ, whoever, tweeted out that he was hacked. But I don't know exactly how long they let it go on. As far as like the smug face in the video, I wonder if that's more of a smug face because if what he said was true about his phone number not being linked to his accounts for his NFTs and crypto, they got nothing. So they basically wasted their time, exposed themselves, and then got nothing anyway. So maybe that was where the smugness came from, like, yeah, nice try, asshole, like something like that. But honestly, I don't know, man. I spent a lot of time early on in my crypto days of like looking for channels and content to watch, and I was always like boring, scammer, crook, boring. Like, it's just, I don't know. And I'm not gonna say who's who, but I just don't watch any of them. I don't trust any of them. I wouldn't give any of them a freaking penny. It's just my take on it. But I don't really know. It does kind of line up though, like you said, with Chris's video. I watched a little bit of it. But I'm watching videos on 2x speed nowadays, like these freaking millennials and these Zoomers. Oh, it's so bad. I said I'd never do it, but here I am.
Yeah, I can't do that personally. Yeah. I mean, the timing is going to be suspicious too. How long after he was supposedly hacked before he put out information to stop people from buying the coin? I think that'd be interesting. I don't know that time. I don't know if it's been a long time between those two moments, but if it was like a whole day, then he would have known by then. Arcade, where do you stand with the whole Bitboy crypto scandal that's going on these days?
To be honest, I don't really watch Bitboy crypto. He rubs me the wrong way when I first watch his content. The last time I heard of his name was when he tried suing Atozi, is another content creator.
Oh yeah.
And he tried suing Atozi, and Atozi obviously is not a millionaire like our boy Bitboy, right? But he managed to raise 200,000 in donations in order to fight back the lawsuit, and Bitboy dropped it because he realized that he had the money to back it up. So I think that he was trying to bully him. So I think that's what's going to happen with Verizon. He's going to end up dropping it because he has nothing. Now, my question is, are we able to see the location of when the tweet came out and where it came from? Right, because that'll be able to tell us whether he was hacked or not. Because if it wasn't him, the IP would show a different location geographically of where that tweet came out. As far as Chris Coffey's video, I haven't watched it, but I've seen Chris Coffey expose Bitboy over this Atozi lawsuit. So I really can't take that as evidence that he is or isn't lying. I'm leaning on the side of he might be lying. That's where I'm at with it. I don't trust him 100%, and it just seems a little bit fishy that your account got hacked miraculously on a time where you managed to scam some people out of their money, allegedly.
Yeah, and didn't he like go crazy, all vigilante Batman style, like trying to hunt down SBF? Right? Did I remember like some crazy adventure where he was in like Cancun or wherever the hell
That was
Sam
a
was?
vacation
And he was
with free content.
Yeah, he was like trying to track it down. He's like up in the place, guys. I'm outside the apartment right now. I just saw Sam order lunch from Uber Eats. On the way here, he kept on saying like he's gonna get him. You know what I mean? Like, I remember this on Twitter, man. Like I said, maybe it was
Yeah,
I don't know how long it went on for, but like I said, every now and then this stuff kind of like filters its way into my timeline. I hate it, but
yeah, the Atozi thing was a big deal too. A lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people made videos about it. That was the first time where I kind of had a bad opinion on Bitboy Crypto, and I think a lot of people got a bad opinion on him and still had a bad taste in their mouth. So maybe when this happens, they immediately jump to conclusions because of that. But also, he's been very closely connected with Ben.eth, and that guy seems to be like a scammer for sure. So, you put those two together, scammers hang out with scammers, I would suppose. Right. So the chat says 58%, yes, he's a scammer. 27% don't know and don't care. I don't blame you on that one, but
yeah, hold on a second. Can we just say that everything is a fucking scam except for photo finish? Can we all agree on that?
No. Right.
Allegedly. In a video game, yes, of course.
How about arcades? NFTs are not a scam. I feel like those
okay, all right. I'll concede that point. All right, arcade is legit.
I'm gonna disappear and take everybody's money.
Oh no!
Right. with yeah, right.
That's fun. No, I'll give arcades project is legit. PFL is legit, and of course Bitcoin Pandas 100% super legit. Maybe not. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Denny OC says, Bitboy's a lot of things, but I don't think he is in on this one. And I see a couple people here say, yes, he is a scammer. Adam says, Bitboy is a scammer. All he does is promote P&D, pump and dumps. I gave him a chance with Ben, and he kept promoting. I noticed, Adam, you've been getting into those coins with Bitboy and Ben.eth, and it does seem a little scammy to me. We've been talking about it in the past on FUDDERS. So, yeah, absolutely. And you can see the chat, most of the chat agrees that I want to be trusting good old Bitboy Crypto, but he does put out some good content. And if he talks about VeVe, I'll probably watch it. Why not? It's fun. All right, let's move on to the next topic. And our final topic for tonight, we're going to be talking about VeVe Cash Out. And I actually have an update to this whole story that came directly from the VeVe team. So we'll get to that. We're going to start off talking about how this all got started, which was through Foster Hilt's YouTube video that he put out. Which describes how you can use this service called Wise, W-I-S-E, in order to cash out with VeVe, even if you don't live in the United States. So there was somebody who responded in the comments of his video, Foster Hilt's video, saying that he tried it and now he's been blocked, and VeVe has locked his account from withdrawing through Wise. And then there's somebody else here saying he tried today and he can't get his account name and username to a friend in USA, and he's still getting the error and it's not working, and people are saying that it's not working. And a lot of people in my Discord server today were saying that it's against VeVe's terms of service and it might even be illegal. So I wanted to go through their Discord server and see if VeVe had mentioned anything about it in their Discord server. And you can see here it had been brought up a couple times, and the moderator both times said that they couldn't really give you any information about it and that you'd have to open a support ticket. So I'll actually send a direct message over to my good friend Reverend Alex G this morning, and he did give me a comment here, a response. So what I asked him was, does VeVe have a position on the Wise cash out method for non-US users? I'm doing a segment about it on FUDDERS, and I see a couple people claim they were blocked from using it, and others say it's against VeVe TOS. And Reverend Alex said that current payout restrictions are on the vendor side and not VeVe's, so using Wise is something users should absolutely verify with Wire before attempting. They want them to verify it with Wire. I was a little confused about this. Awesome that he gave me a response. It looks here that VeVe isn't going to like take action against anybody themselves for using Wise, but I wanted to see what you guys thought about this response and about using Wise to cash out if you're not in America. Mo, what do you think, bro?
I mean, I did look into it a little bit. For what I always understood was that Wise was just kind of like a Cash App type of deal, right? So it just creates like a routing number and an account number. But maybe they just have some sort of like anti-crypto. Like, for instance, I think I told you guys before the show, you know, I can't do any VeVe or HRO or Palm with my credit cards. My debit cards work 100%. Like, I can go in, my banks will allow it, but when I try to use my credit cards, they're all like, nope. And when I call them, I'm like, hey, can you just allow it? They're like, no, we don't allow, you know, crypto stuff like that. I wouldn't even call it a crypto scam. So I don't know. Maybe there is something on Wise where it gets triggered. It could be a regional thing, depending on what country it's going to type of deal. Who knows? I mean, but I didn't see anything that said it was like outright against TOS and VeVe.
Yeah, and I've seen plenty of people on Twitter who said that they used it and it worked for them, because I was trying to see if anybody else had the same problem. The only person I saw that said that they got blocked from being able to cash out for using it is that one person who replied to Foster Hilt's video. And it was somebody who I've never seen before, doesn't have a profile picture, but I could say there's maybe even dozens of people who said they used it and it worked fine. BE, do you think this is something that people should use, or should they be worried about using Wise to cash out?
I mean, I'm always worried if you're doing stuff like off what the company uses. And maybe those people were using a VPN, you know, if it's just a few of them and it's nothing. But, you know, just a little bit, you know, we're a family, and it really upsets me that VeVe has not taken care of the rest of the family. Why does, the United States get taken care of, and all our friends out there are getting screwed and they're getting upset? So I understand why they're looking for other options, and it's frustrating for me because I've heard from a lot of them, and they're ready to give up. So I understand why these people are trying to look for something else, but I would be super careful. Because you'd never know what's going to happen. If you get kicked off, or maybe you lose your money, it doesn't work. I don't know. I'd just be very, very careful whatever you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we say there's a possibility that everyone's getting one guide here? Because, I mean, it could just be Tucson,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, trolling the hell out of everybody. And it's just one guy, you know, creating a ruckus the same way it was like asking Paul Barron if VeVe's dead, right? And then, like, freaking sky is falling type of shit. But I don't know. I would probably want to see at least more than one person with that profile picture, like you said, come out and be like, hey, this hasn't worked for me. Because, again, everything that I looked at tells me that Wise is nothing more than like a Cash App type of deal. It's like a middleman type of wallet with a bank account, routing a number, you know, account number type of deal. Nothing more, nothing less.
So why can't VeVe just use Wise as their payment processor? Why can't they just use it through their app to cash people out instead of people doing it through a third party? What do you think about that, Arcade? Do you think that's something that they would even be able to do? Or if I know we're all Americans, so we're lucky we don't have to worry about it too much, but if you were outside of the US and maybe you had like $5K, you wanted to cash out of gems on VeVe, would you be worried about using Wise, or would you feel safe using it?
I think that with Alex's response, it's almost like the gems, the selling of gems. If you get scammed, that's your fault. It's not VeVe's fault. So if your money disappears, I don't know what Wise is. I've never heard of it and I've never used it. So if you're desperate enough to try it, be willing to lose your money and not have VeVe back you up. Who knows if Wire is going to look into it, right? Because that's you almost have to weigh out the risk. If you're cashing out maybe the minimum to test it out, maybe cash out the minimum every time you do it instead of doing it all in a lump sum, because if you lose some of it, it's going to be a sad day for all of us, right? Because we don't want to see that happen to you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But
Great point.
Just on another note, why is VeVe still messing around with the Wire, right? To me, Wire is like the girlfriend that dumped us on Twitter. She didn't even have the respect. She didn't even have the respect to call me and tell me in person. I had to find out that our relationship was over through a tweet, and now I'm putting up with you just so I can keep the dog in the house, because at this point we'll have no other options. But why do we not have any other options? Are we waiting for this regulations thing to get through and blow over before we could do anything? Maybe VeVe has nothing, is not in control, and Wire is the only thing that we have for the moment, and at least we can please the US audience. But that's weird that we haven't had another provider, and it's been way more than enough time to find one. So I think that that's where the problem begins. It's VeVe finding a different provider.
Yeah, I'd like to know what all the other platforms are using for their payment processors. I know DC Palm is now going to be allowing people to cash out with USDC, which is basically crypto cash out. And if they can do it, VeVe can do it. So VeVe needs to get on that, because that would solve the problem with international cash outs for sure. And that's one of the promises that they haven't fulfilled yet, the ability to cash out with crypto. And I know that'll pump up a lot of people. They'll be excited about it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up. What we like to do here on the end of every Fudders is go over our next drop, which is tomorrow's drop. We got Spider-Man number 10 dropping, and this is, I don't know if it's the first appearance of anybody. BE, have you done a video on it? Do you know if this is a special comic? There's 10,000 editions.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's special. I mean, it is the first appearance of Ultimatum. He's actually plays a major part with, you know, he's Miles Morales in a different Earth, right? So Earth 616 is Ultimatum, 1610 is Miles Morales. So I don't want to get too much into it. I'm actually a little excited. I could be completely wrong, so don't follow what I say, but I'm going to stack them. I don't know if I'm going for them on the drop, but because I think a lot of people are going to drop them to that $2 range, and then I'm stacking them. I think it's a little bit more important than people think, but I'm not 100% sure how good it's going to do. But, you know, I'm sure commons, uncommons, and rares aren't going to do that well. But I think it's worth stacking, in my opinion.
It must be, if they're doing 10,000 editions, it must be a decent comic, because usually they won't have the edition size that high unless it has some importance. You can see here the Go Collect prices, 9.8 is only $100 because it is a more recent comic, came out in 2014. And before we go, make sure that you guys are subscribed to Kid Arcade's YouTube channel. His Twitter and his YouTube channel are both linked down in the description. Of course, you want to subscribe to BE's channel, the VeVe Drop channel, also linked in the description. These guys both just hit 1,000 subscribers on their channel, so they've been moving up and making a lot of great content for VeVe, which is awesome. And the last thing we always do here on Fudders is we go around the horn and ask everybody one thing that they're looking forward to this week in NFTs or crypto. And I'm going to probably steal everybody else's, because the one thing that I'm looking forward to, I don't even know if y'all know this yet, but Thursday, it's going down. I'm going to live stream it too. We're opening up our OF1 Nike swoosh drop boxes. Our Nike swoosh boxes, the reveal is Thursday. So that's what I'm looking forward to. What about you, BE? Anything in particular looking forward to this week?
I've been so busy, I didn't even know that. You just made my day.
There you go.
That is what I'm looking forward to.
I knew there was probably people hadn't figured it out yet. It just came across the board. The tweet came out when me and Mo were live on Photo Finish Live on Friday, and he was excited about it too. So Mo, what are you looking forward to this week?
Whoosh. Yeah, definitely. I'll be opening 2 of my boxes. I'm going to keep 3 of them sealed. But yeah, other than that, I'm also looking forward to hopefully grabbing the uncommon on the DC drop.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun drop. It's going to be some moves to be made on that one. Arcade, did you go for the Nike swoosh? And is there anything you're looking forward to this week?
I'm not really into, I'm not a hype beast. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not into shoes like that. So I didn't go for it. But my girl did. My girl's into, she's a hype beast. She loves Jordan. She loves all that stuff. So when she got home, I got home that night. She told me she got a bunch of those Nike swoosh things. So she's all about it. I'm really out the loop when it comes to that. I'm excited for the Elmon X drop on Sunday. Is the Mummy.
The King Tut.
King Tut, yeah, the Tutankhamun. Yeah, that's gonna be dope. And I believe that if you get the drop on Sunday, you get 2 airdrops of 2 other mummies. And so I'm really excited what Elmon X is doing. They're just dropping stuff. One reason, this is not a plug because I don't get paid by Elmon X, but a lot of the NFTs, especially the Batmans, the Spider-Mans, all of these have the burden of people expecting them to be gamified, but nobody ever thinks of that when it comes to a Mona Lisa, when it comes to high-end art. And I think that in the future, that's the utility, right? Just being able to flex that, because we're going to expect it to be in the game. So that's why I'm excited over these NFTs.
Yeah, and Elmon X does a good job of keeping them scarce because that's important for
Yes,
fine
yes.
art. So yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And their stuff looks great. I haven't seen the King Tut stuff yet, but I'm a big King Tut fan, so I'm definitely gonna be checking them out. Don't know if I'll go for the drop. Darkling wants to know when the unboxing is for Nike Swoosh. That is Thursday. I believe it's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I do plan on going live for that. Hopefully, I can have a bunch of guests come on with me. Maybe I'll even do StreamYard so they can share their own screen and we can watch other people unbox their Nike.Swoosh NFTs as well. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all in the chat for hanging out with us for Fudders. This is our live stream that we do every Monday with Mo and BE, and we talk about all of the bad news of the week. And we big shout out to Kid Arcade, VeVe Arcade for being our guest today. Great guest, man. You seem to know more about all the topics than the rest of us. So I really appreciate you being here, and I'm a big fan of your channel, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for having
me.
me. Thank you.
Thank you, MoKnowz. Thank you, everybody in the chat.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great
Thanks,
week.
everyone in the chat.
Peace.
Peace.
Keep on fudding.